Good afternoon, everyone. Today we will go for the anatomy of a prostate. Okay, anatomy of a prostate. It is a very important organ, or it is a fibromuscular glandular organ. You can say that fibromuscular glandular organ, or it is a say the prostate gland, not a organ. It is a prostate gland. Okay, the word prostate comes from the ancient Greek. It means that uh, prostate means that one who stand before, okay, or it is a protector. Another meaning of prostate is one who stand before, or it is as a protector or guardian. And actually the term originally used to describe the seminal vesicles. Okay, and this is a prostate gland. It is situated in between the neck of a bladder and external sphincter of a urethra. Okay, you can see this is a neck of a bladder, and this here comes the external urethral sphincter. Okay, it is present in between the neck of the bladder and the external urethral sphincter. Okay, or it is above, what is there, neck of the bladder, and below the external urethral sphincter is there. Okay, and it is surrounds the what, urethra. Okay, that surrounds, that urethra surrounded urethra, it says a prostatic urethra. Okay, I already explained bladder, neck of the bladder, and urethra also. In that, prostatic urethra also. Okay, actually this gland means prostate gland is produces and contain fluid that forms a part of semen. Okay, the substance that emitted during the ejaculation as part of the male sexual response. This prostatic fluid is slightly alkaline, milky, and or it is a look like a white. It is because of in appearance. Because of that, our semen is look like a white. Okay, and this prostatic fluid is alkaline and white in color. And alkalinity of semen, it helps to neutralize the acidity of a vaginal tract. And this neutralization of acidity of a vaginal tract, and also it helps in the prolonging the lifespan of a sperm. Okay, in the vaginal tract or in the uterus. Okay, this is very important fluid. It produces the one fluid that is as a prostatic fluid, and it also covers the urethra. Okay, ejaculatory ducts are open in this prostatic urethra, and prostatic glands also opens in the multiple tiny sinuses or openings that say the prostatic sinuses. Okay, and sometimes it may, this prostate gland also suffers from the prostatitis. Okay, or prostatomegaly, or it you can say as a CA of a prostate, like that. Okay, sometimes this is cause the what, obstruction of a urine also. Okay, you can see here, this is a USG, ultrasonography of a prostate gland. Can say like that. This is above, this is a bladder, and this is a, you can see as a prostate. Okay, like that you can see in the ultrasonography view. Okay, we can go for the next slide. The prostate is lies in the lesser pelvis. Okay, lies in the lesser pelvis below the neck of the urinary bladder and behind the lower part of the pubic symphysis. and upper part of the pubic arch, and in front of the ampulla of the rectum. Okay, you can see here this is a rectum, and ampulla means dilated part of the rectum in front of the in the male. Okay, it is situated just behind the lower part of the pubic symphysis and the neck of the urinary bladder and the upper part of the pubic arch, and it is present in the lesser pelvis below the neck of the urinary bladder, behind the lower part of the pubic symphysis and the upper part of the pubic arch, and in front of the ampulla of a rectum. And it is a shape it is look like a or resembles like a inverted cone. Okay, how the ice cream cone, you imagine like a ice cream cone, like okay, it look like a inverted cone, and it has the base, apex. Okay, you can go for the next slide. Okay, prostate function. First of all, you know what is the function of it. I already told it helps in the semen fluid or prostatic fluid. It helps in the forms the semen fluid. Okay, and color of the semen, and it prolongs the lifespan of a sperm, and it is a alkalinity. Okay, alkaline nature. That alkalinity helps in the neutralize the vaginal acidity, and that prolongs the lifespan of a sperm. Okay, the prostate function. The prostate carry out several important functions. First and foremost, the prostate function as a sex gland by the not only the creating the fluid that helps the nourish the sperm, protect them on their journey throughout the vaginal tract, but in its further capacity as a muscle, it helps propel said sperm through the penis upon the ejaculation. The fluid is produced by the thousands of tiny glands within the prostate, which mix with the sperm to create semen. The process is carried out during the ejaculation as the muscle contract, forcing this fluid into the urethra. It mixes with the sperm being the release from the testicles to form the semen. And first of all, it is a fibromuscular glandular structure gland. Fibromuscular gland. Okay, the prostatic fluid is alkalinity, helps to protect the sperm upon entering the acidic vaginal tract. Without this coating, sperm have less mobility, shorter lifespan, and are prone to losing their DNA marker. Okay, now in the female, okay, there is some says that there is no prostatic gland. Okay, but in some opinion, the sneeze gland, it work like a prostatic gland. Okay, or erectile tissue. That skin is gland. Okay, it work like a prostatic gland. Prostate is mainly present in the male sex organ. Okay, and it is a prostate, you can say as a what you can say, it helps in the semen. I already told how it is helps in the what semen analysis, also semen production of the semen, everything. Okay, another one thing in the male, it is an accessory gland in the male reproductive system, and it secretes the bulk to the semen fluid. Okay, and prostate has a apex, base, and 4 surfaces. Okay, and in female, in some says that okay, it no has the prostate, but in some the sneeze gland, it work like only prostate. Okay, in while women do not have a prostate, they do have a series of glands and ducts at the front of the vagina called as the Skene's glands, which are sometimes refers to the female prostate. You can see in this picture. Okay, the Skene's glands only have the work like a prostate in the female, but it is the male. It is a very important gland present in the neck of the bladder and behind the external urethral sphincter. Okay, one of the similarities is related to the prostate specific antigen PSA. You can say as a PSA. It is very important prostate specific antigen. You can use in this in the confirm the benign prostatomegaly or it is a malignant prostatomegaly. It is very important marker, okay, for the diagnose the C of the prostate or benign prostatomegaly or benign tumor of the prostate. Okay, prostate specific antigen and PSA. Another one is phosphates. Okay, prostate phosphates and PSA and PSAP are the present in both the male prostate and the Skene's gland. It is not clear whether the female prostate gland, it's not a clear whether the female prostate gland drain only into the small ducts on each side of the urethra or the urethra itself. The urethra is the tube that carries the urine outside the body. In either case, the female prostatic gland is considered a functional part of a woman's genital and urinary system. So, if the female prostate gland shares similarities with the male prostatic gland. Can go for next slide. Then we can go for the anatomy of a prostate. Okay, I already told the shape of the prostate. Prostate has the inverted conical cone shape. Okay, and one thing, and it has the apex and base, and it has the three surfaces: anterior surface, posterior surface, and two inferior lateral surface. Means total 4 surfaces. Okay, and it has the 5 lobes: anterior lobe, posterior lobe, 2 lateral lobes, and 1 median lobe. You can go for the zonal also. Okay, zone and peripheral zone, central zone, like that. Okay, median zone, like that. We can go for the zonal anatomy of a prostate also. Okay, first of all, prostate is there is very important. Why I am stressing in that prostate is a fibromuscular glandular structure. It has both the function, because of it has a glandular function also and it has a muscular function also. What is the muscular function? It contracts or forms the helps to in the ejaculation of a semen, one thing, and it covers the urethra. Okay, that's why urethra. Okay, because of that it helps into the urination also. Okay, that's why I am saying or stressing that it is not a gland. Prostate is not a simple gland. Okay, it is not a completely glandular structure. It is a fibromuscular glandular structure. Okay, you can remember in this. This is a one peculiarity of a prostate. Okay, definition: prostate is a fibromuscular glandular structure situated between the neck of a bladder and external urethral sphincter, and surrounds the prostatic urethra. It is covers the urethra, and which part of the urethra it is covered by the prostate, that urethral part is as a prostatic urethra. I am already explained about the anatomy of urethra. In that I will explain the prostatic urethra. It is in conical in shape. Okay, and how conical? It is a inverted conical. Okay, inverted conical in shape. And surfaces, it has the 3 surfaces. One is anterior surface, one is posterior surface, and 2 inferior lateral surfaces. And it has the 5 lobes: anterior lobe, posterior lobe, median lobe, and 2 lateral lobes. Size: it is about 3 cm vertically, 4 cm transversely at the base, and about 2 cm antero-posteriorly. Weight: it is 15 to 20 gram. Note, in the some adenoma or megaly, there is weight of the prostate also enlarged. Adenoma usually occur in the medial and lateral lobe. It never occurs in the anterior and posterior lobe because they are mainly fibromuscular tissue and devoid of glandular structure. This is another one is okay. Adenoma. Adenoma means tumor. Adi means gland. Okay. Adenomas. Okay. It is glandular tumors. They are mainly fibroadenoma. In the breast you can see as a fibroadenoma. Adenoma means gland. Okay. Or any tumors occurs on the gland, they are say as a adenoma. Okay. In that shape way, adenoma, it is not occur in the anterior and posterior lobe because they are fibromuscular. I am giving trust because now it is go for the functional. I am told in the last place why I am trusting like that. Fibromuscular glandular structure and fibro, they have the both different functions also. Fibromuscular, it helps in the ejaculate the semen and during the urination like that. In adenoma glandular structure, it that produce the prostatic fluid like that, everything. Okay. And adenomas usually not occur at the anterior and posterior lobe because this is a completely made by the fibromuscular tissue. Okay. Now we can go for the prostate. Okay. Prostate is a fibromuscular glandular organ that surrounds the prostatic urethra. Glandular part, how much in that glandular part is there? 2/3 part is glandular and 1/3 part is a fibromuscular side. In that anterior and posterior lobes only. Size, I already told, it is 3 cm long and 4 cm wide. And site, I already told neck of the bladder above and external urethral sphincter below. Okay. Or you can say as a urogenital diaphragm. Okay. It is lies in between the neck of the bladder, urinary bladder above, and urogenital diaphragm below. See, it is the neck of the bladder and this is the urogenital diaphragm, and this is what you say as a inverted cone shaped structure. You can what you say, this is say as a prostate. Okay. It is say as a prostate gland. Okay. Now relationship, what is the relation between the male? Okay. Anteriorly, what you say, I already told, it is present in the just below the pubic symphysis. Okay. And arch of the pubic this arch bone, sorry, it's anteriorly. What are the structures are there? This is a prostate. It is present in the lesser pelvis. Okay, first of all. And what is the anteriorly? This is the pubic symphysis and puboprostatic ligament. This is a puboprostatic ligament. It is ligament present between the pubis and prostate. That is why it is a puboprostatic ligament. And posteriorly, I already told, ampulla of a rectum. Okay, rectal ampulla. This is here you can got the rectovesical pouch. Or you can say the fascia of Deneuillers. Fascia is there. That fascia is say as a Deneuillers. Okay, you can see here you can got the Deneuiller fascia. It is present in between the bladder and rectum and prostate and rectum. Okay, rectovesical septum or rectoprostatic fascia. Okay, or fascia of Deneuillers. You can say as a fascia of Deneuillers. Okay, it is present in between the prostate and the rectum. And laterally, anterior fibers of the levator end muscle. Okay, this is the relations of a prostate. Okay, you can in this picture also you can see. Okay, Anteriorly, what is there? This is a pubic symphysis, is a puboprostatic ligament. This is a prostate. This is, you can see as a ampulla of a rectum and some part of the anal canal. Okay, upper anal canal. During the examination of a prostate, we can go for the anal digital examination. In that time, you can palpate the lobes, lateral lobes of the prostate also. Okay, and here one fascia is there. That fascia is as a what? Denuvillers fascia. Okay, or puborectal or prostatorectal septa. Or sorry, rectovesical septa. Okay, recto means rectum, vesical means bladder, and this is a septa. Okay, and this is a rectovesical pouch, and these are the seminal vesicle. Okay, this is seminal vesicle, opens at the prostatic urethra. In this picture also you can see this is a prostate. Okay, this is a pubic symphysis. This is a puboprostatic ligament. This is a diaphragm, urogenital diaphragm. Okay, and external urethral sphincter also form here. Okay, and this is a rectum, and this is a anal canal. Okay, this much is anal canal, and okay, up to this. Okay, anal canal, and this is the ampulla of a rectum. Okay, here it is covers on the denuvillus fascia. This is seminal vesicles. This is a vesicorectal pouch. This is a vesicorectal pouch. Okay, and here this you can come the levator ani muscle. You can see this is the internal sphincter, and here the levator ani muscle is there. Okay, relaxation of a prostatic gland. Superiorly, base means base, it is the neck of a bladder. You can see here this is a bladder. Superiorly, here neck of the bladder. Okay, continues with the bladder neck, that is superior, and that superior part is say as a base of the prostate. Okay, and apex. Okay, it's rest on the urogenital diaphragm. This is a urogenital diaphragm. This is the apex, and this is a base. Okay, or it is a inverted conical in shape, cone shape, and this is apex, and this is a base. Okay, and base is at the continuous with the neck of a bladder. In the apex, rest on the urogenital diaphragm, and it has the surfaces. Anterior surface separates from the pubic symphysis by fat in the retropubic space. And that space is say as a caves of Retigius. Okay, and posterior is separated from the rectal ampulla by the rectovesical septum, that is as a fascia of denuvillus. Okay, this is about the relationship of a prostatic gland. Now we can go for the lobal anatomy of a prostatic gland. It has the 4 lobes. Okay, one is anterior lobe, one is posterior lobe, one is median lobe, not a middle, median lobe, and 2 lateral lobes. Okay, in this you can see that it is a prostate. Okay, and this is a neck of a bladder. This is a base, and this is the apex, and these are the lateral surfaces. Okay, and what you can now see, this is the posterior surface of the prostate. Okay, you can see here this is also prostate. Okay, this is the pubic symphysis. There is fat is called as a puboprostatic ligament with the fat is there here, and this is the posterior surface. This is what you can see. This is the denuvillus fascia. This is the levator ani muscle. Okay, this is the posterior surface, and this is the prostatic urethra, and this is the base, and this is the apex, and this is a urogenital diaphragm. Base is present at the neck of the bladder. This is a, you can see the bladder. Okay, and this is the apex, it is rest on the urogenital diaphragm. Now we can go for the lobal anatomy. Okay, this is the anterior lobe. These are the two lateral to the prostatic urethra, that's why it is as a lateral lobe. This is anterior to the urethra, okay, that is why anterior lobe. And this is a median lobe, okay, it is present middle to the lobe, that it is a median lobe. And this is posterior to the urethra or median lobe, that is this is a posterior lobe. This is the posterior lobe, this is a median lobe, this is the anterior lobe. Okay, actually the enlargement of median lobe only cause the retention of a urine. Okay, that is very important thing. Okay, and this is a posterior lobe. You can so see here in this lobal anatomy. Okay, this is a first, you can know the this is the urethra. Okay, and this is a ejaculatory duct. Okay, just above the, okay, just anterior to the urethra, it is as a anterior lobe. Okay, and what is the present just posterior to the median lobe or prostatic urethra, or which is covers the prostatic urethra, that is as a median lobe. This is a median lobe. And in below the median lobe or posterior to the median lobe, what is there, that is as a posterior lobe. And ejaculatory duct, it is in between the median and posterior lobe, or in the present in the posterior lobe passes. Okay, in this picture you can clearly understand. Okay, this is a urethra. Okay, just anterior to the urethra, this is the anterior lobe, and just below the urethra there is a median lobe, and just below that you can say the posterior lobe. Okay, and in between the these two lateral side there is lobes are there, and there are most of lobe is covered or contain the bigger lobes, that are the lateral lobe, or also is as a periphery lobe. Okay, this is a sagittal section of a prostate, and this is a transverse section of a prostate. This is a urethra. What are the anterior lobe, median lobe, posterior lobe, lateral lobe, anterior lobe, median lobe, and this is a posterior lobe. Now we can go for the anterior lobe. What you can marking here? Okay, this is a anterior lobe. Okay, anterior lobe lies anterior to the urethra, and it is mostly muscular, containing the little glandular tissue. I already explained. Anterior and posterior lobes are the fibromuscular. Then posterior lobe, you can see I have mark here, this is a posterior lobe, and it is mainly contains the ejaculatory duct. Okay, because it helps in the ejaculate the semen, helps in the ejaculate the semen. It is lies posterior to the urethra and inferior to the plane of the ejaculatory duct. You can see here in that. Now paired lateral lobes. Okay, these are lateral lobes. These are lateral to the urethra, that's why it is as a lateral lobe. The between the anterior and posterior lobe, okay, lobes, the lateral to the urethra and forms the bulk of the gland. Okay, most of all gland is covered by the lateral lobes only. You can easily palpate by the digital examination during the rectal digital examination or anal digital examination. Middle lobe, or it is actually median lobe, not a middle lobe, it is actually median lobe. Okay, it lies posterior to the urethra. Okay, superior to the plane of the ejaculatory duct. I already marked there. Okay, when enlarged results in obstruction of the urethra at the neck of the bladder. Okay, now we can go for the anatomy of a zonal anatomy. Zone, how you can now I'll discuss about the lobe. Okay, now we can about the zone. Okay, You can see zone. This is a nowadays corona. It is a coronal infected zone, like that. Okay. It now we can go for the zonal anatomy or classification of a prostate. And they are mainly classified as a 4 zones. One is a transitional zone. One is a central zone. Another one is a peripheral zone. Okay. An anterofibromuscular stroma zone. Okay. The transitional zone is compared as a median lobe. Central zone and peripheral zone is seen as a posterior and lateral lobe. Anterofibromuscular stroma is considered as a anterior lobe. Okay. Transitional zone, it is as a median lobe. You can understand here how we can compare lobal anatomy, how we can compare with the zonal anatomy. Transitional zone is seen as a medial lobe. Okay, transitional zone is a say as a median lobe. Then central and peripheral say as a posterior and lateral lobe. Then anterior fibromuscular stroma or zone is seen as a anterior lobe. Okay, like that we can zonal anatomy also you can divide. You can see here in this, okay, zonal and lobal. Okay, you can see easily in this what is the comparison between the zonal anatomy and what lobal anatomy. Okay, in first you can go for the lobal anatomy. In that, this is the anterior lobe, this is the posterior lobe, and this is the median lobe in the sagittal section. This is the anterior lobe, medial lobe, posterior lobe, and this is the lateral lobe. And you go for the zonal anatomy. Okay, then you can go for the, this is a peripheral. This is periphery. Why it is says periphery? It is comes outside. Okay, outside or periphery, surrounding. Okay, this peripheral zone we can compare with the lateral zone. Then this is a central zone. Okay, why I say as a central zone? It is covers the urethra mainly. You can see in this picture also. This is a periphery zone. Okay, and this is a central zone. The mainly urethra is covered by the central zone. Okay, that's why that zone is as a central zone. Okay, which covers the urethra mainly, that is as a central zone. Okay, and this is a this is a transitional zone. This is a transitional zone, and this is a central zone. Okay, and this is red one, anterior lobe. You can say as a fibromuscular zone. Okay, like that. This is a transitional zone. Transitional zone means it covers the what? Urethra, mainly urethra. Okay, that's why it is as a transitional zone. And just above, below that we can see the central zone, and surrounds the central zone or everything there is a peripheral zone, and anterior or most this one say as a anterior zone or fibromuscular zone. Now we can go for the peripheral zone, zonal anatomy of the prostate. Okay, peripheral zones you can also compare as a peripheral zone as a lateral lobes. Okay, peripheral zone, it is 70% of the volume of a young adult prostate. It is 60 to 70% of a CA of a prostate occur in the peripheral zone. Okay, you can means where it is mainly in this area. Okay, that's why you can easily palpate by the digital examination. Now central zone, 25% of young adult of a prostate. In that it involved 25% of the prostate, and it is 5 to 10% of a CA, chances to form a CA. Now transitional zone. Okay, there is 5% young adult is a prostate, 10 to 50% of CA prostate is chances. Benign prostatic hyperplasia, it is more common in this area. You can see in this picture transitional zonal anatomy. We can easily understand how the zonal anatomy is arranged. What you can see in this one, Okay, this dotted structure like this. This is say as a what a peripheral zone. Okay, and this is okay. What is the urethra is mainly covered. Okay, this is say as a transitional zone. And what is the this is their posterior side. This is say as a central zone, and above the transitional zone you can say as a anterior fibromuscular zone. You can say central and peripheral is say as a posterior and lateral lobe, and this transitional zone is say as a median lobe, and anterior fibromuscular zone or area is say as a anterior lobe. You can see in this picture easily understand zonal anatomy. In this picture you can clear that you can see which is covers the it is a urethra. Okay, this is a urethra, and these two are the ejaculatory ducts. Okay, these two are the ejaculatory ducts, and this is a urethra. The urethra is mainly covers the which area or which part of the prostate, that is say that this is a transitional zone. Okay, and this is you can see as a it is present periphery. Okay, that's why it is as a peripheral zone, and this is central zone. Okay, and this you can say as a it is present anteriorly. See, this is a transitional zone. Just above that anteriorly this zone is present. This is say as a what a anterior fibromuscular zone. Anterior fibromuscular zone, transitional zone, central zone, and this is a peripheral zone. Like that there is a arrangement of a fibro. This in this picture you can easily make out zonal anatomy. Okay, this is what you red color you can see as a this is a central zone, and this is a you can see as a peripheral zone, and this is say as a transitional zone. You can see here mainly urethra covers transitional zone, and just above the transitional zone and peripheral zone this is the anterior fibromuscular zone. Like that it is it is zonal anatomy is very important during the identify the pathology of a prostate, or to identify the benign and cancerous or malignant tumors or adenomas or carcinoma like that, or hypertrophy. For that we know this zonal anatomy. Zonal, there are transitional zone, central zone, peripheral zone, and anterior fibromuscular zone, and lobe, anterior lobe, posterior lobe, median lobe, and lateral lobe. Okay, and transitional zone is a compare as a median lobe or compare as a median lobe. Central and peripheral lobe is a compare as a posterior and lateral lobe, and anterior fibromuscular stroma is compare as a anterior lobe. Okay, you can see here in this picture also, this is a urethra, and this is a transitional zone which covers the completely urethra, and this is a central zone, and this is you can see as a peripheral. Why it is peripheral? This is outside, or it is surrounds the further remaining zones. That's why it is as a peripheral zone. And this is the anterior fibromuscular. This is a mainly muscular in nature. Okay, not a glandular. That's why it is as a fibromuscular, and it is present anterior to the transitional zones. That's why this is the anterior lobe or anterior fibromuscular zone. Now transitional zone, you can go for the transitional zone. Okay, transitional zone, it is surrounds the urethra proximal to the ejaculatory duct. You can say, see, this is a urethra. Okay, and it covers the urethra before the or proximal to the ejaculatory ducts. Okay, and this is the main site of a BPH. BPH means benign hypertrophy, prostatic hypertrophy. Okay, in this picture, this is a ejaculatory duct. Just above that, this is a urethra, prostatic urethra, and it covers the this area is a transitional zone. You can see it in this picture also. This is the ejaculatory ducts, okay, and this is the urethra, covers proximal part of the urethra. It covers by this zone. Okay, now we can go for the central zone. It is central zone. It is mainly contains the what ejaculatory ducts. Okay, central zone. It surrounds the ejaculatory ducts and projects under the bladder base. Okay, and narrows as the approaches the opening of the ejaculatory ducts into the verumontanum. I already told during the anatomy of a urethra, there is a one crest is there. In that crest, urethral crest, there is some dilated part of the area you say as a verumontanum. Okay, it is very important during the surgery of the TURP. Okay, or any prostatic surgery. If once you injure this verumontanum, the patient may suffer from the infertility. Okay, and also sometimes incontinence of a urine. The peripheral zone, this constitutes the bulk of apical, posterior and lateral aspect of the prostate. Approximately 70% of the prostate gland lies in the peripheral zone. This zone does not undergo benign hypertrophy, a site for origin of 70% of all prostatic carcinoma, because it is a glandular. Okay, anterior fibromuscular stroma, you can see it there in this picture. This is a non-glandular region located in the anteromedial portion of the gland, extends from the bladder neck to striated urethral sphincter. Then uvula, I already explained during the anatomy of the bladder what is the uvula. Okay, in that the uvula is formed because of the prostate. I already also I will explain. Okay, uvula is a projection of the in the trigone. Okay, of the trigone, the prominent in males formed by the median lobe of the prostate, and that projects into the interior and causes the obstruction to the easy flow of urine in the BPH. You can see how the median lobe of the prostate forms the trigone, forms the uvula in the trigone. Okay. Now we can go for the capsules of the prostate. Prostate has a two types of capsule. One is the true capsule, another one is the false capsule. Okay, you can say which is the firmly attached to the prostate and mainly covers the prostate. That is this is a true capsule. Okay, and this is say as a false capsule. It is formed by the fascia. Okay, in between the true capsule and false capsule, there are some venous plexus or artery supply is by this zone. Okay, it has the true capsule. One is a true capsule and another one is a false capsule. Prostate has a two capsules. Okay, normally two, but pathologically there are the three capsules. The true capsule is a thin fibrous sheath that surrounds the prostate, and false capsule lies outside the true capsule and formed by the condensation of a pelvic fascia. It continues with the fascia of denuvillers posteriorly and into the fascia surrounds the bladder. Between the true and false capsule there lies the prostatic venous plexus. The pathological capsule and BPS takes place, the normal peripheral part of the gland become compressed into the capsule around this enlarging mass is also called as a surgical capsule of the prostate. Okay, you can see here this is a prostate and this is as a true capsule, and this what are these are the vessels. Just above that this is as a false capsule. Okay, and this you can see here this is a projection in the trigone of a bladder, and this is from the uvula. Okay, the true capsule prostate is surrounded by the fibrous capsule which contain prostatic plexus of the nerves and veins. The false capsule, this is a visceral layer of pelvic fascia, forms the fibrous prostatic sheath outside the true capsule. You can see in this, this is a prostate gland. Okay, this is a prostate gland. Okay, and it also contains the prostatic gland proper, main prostatic gland, and these are the mucosal gland, and these are submucosal gland, and just above that you can see this is the one covering, it is there, it is say as a true capsule. Okay, it is firmly attached, or shape of the prostate is because of this true capsule. Okay, and in just above the true capsule you can see the some prostatic venous plexus, and there is a blood supply. Okay, just above that there is another one fascia is there. Okay, that is prostatic fascia, that forms the called as a false capsule of a prostate. Okay, this is about the capsule. It has a true capsule and false capsule. True capsule, it mainly bear the fibrous muscular capsule or fibrous sheath, and this is false capsule is formed by the fascia or pelvic fascia and denuvelous fascia posteriorly. Like now, I have already told the anatomy of the prostatic urethra during the anatomy of a urethra. Okay, in that I will just briefly explain the prostatic urethra. Okay, this is the urethra. Which part of urethra is covered by the prostate, that is as a prostatic urethra. In that posterior side, okay, there is some crest or some elevation of a urethra is there, that is say as a urethric crest. Okay, and then that urethric crest at the middle, it becomes dilated. Okay, and has some openings. Okay, and that part of the dilated part of the urethral crest is say as a verumontanum, or we can say as a seminal caliculus. Okay, in that verumontanum or seminal caliculus, there are some openings are there. Okay, there are say as a prostatic uretricle. The major one big opening is there, that is say as, or central opening is there, that is say as in the verumontanum, that is say as a prostatic uretricle, and further two openings are there, that openings are these openings. Okay, are say as a openings of a ejaculatory ducts, and further the prostatic glands. Okay, that opens into the urethric crest or in the prostatic urethra. That openings are say as a openings of a prostatic sinuses. These are say as a prostatic sinuses. Openings of ducts of glandular elements of a prostate, they are say as a prostatic sinuses. This is about the prostatic urethra. Now we can go for that. The prostatic urethra, it has a urethral crest, is a longitudinal ridge or elevation in the posterior wall of the prostatic urethra. Now caliculus seminalis, it is also say as a verumontanum, is a smooth enlargement of a urethral crest. It receives the opening of the paired ejaculatory ducts and prostatic utricle. It is also called as the verumontanum. Then prostatic sinus. The depression on each side of the caliculi seminalis receives the opening of the prostatic ducts, that is say as a prostatic sinuses. You can see here in this is a urethral crest, and this is dilated part or bigger part is say as a verumontanum, and it is central is the prostatic uretricle, and these are the two openings are say opening for the ejaculatory ducts, and just periphery to the urethric crest there is multiple openings are there. The openings are there for the say as a prostatic sinuses, and that opens by the prostatic ducts or prostatic glands. Then prostatic utricle. Okay, the prostatic Latin for pouch of the prostate, it is say as a pouch for the prostate, is a small indentation at the prostatic urethra at the apex of the urethral crest on the seminal calicular verumontanum, laterally flanked by the openings of the ejaculatory ducts, that is say as a prostatic utricle. Okay, in Latin is as a pouch of the prostate. Is a small indentation in the prostatic urethra at the apex of the urethral crest on the seminal colliculus or in the verumontanum. You can see this is the this apex, this one bigger one opening. This one is as a prostatic utricle. Okay, you can go for the next. Arterial supply or blood supply, arterial blood supply to the prostate. It is mainly by the inferior vesical artery, middle rectal artery and internal pudendal artery. Okay, this is the blood supply of the artery. Inferior vesical artery, middle rectal artery, internal pudendal artery. Venous drainage by the prostatic plexus. There is vesical plexus to the internal iliac vein. The communication with the Batson's plexus of paravertebral veins and vertebral venous plexus may be responsible for the spread of cancer or metastasis into the vertebral bodies or the intracranial invasions, because there is a venous plexus. Prostatic plexus drain into vesical plexus drain into internal iliac veins. Another one is the Batson plexus of paravertebral veins that directly drain into vertebral venous plexus may be responsible for the spread to the cancer to the metastasis into the vertebral bodies. Lymphatic drainage by the prostatic primarily drain into the obturator and the internal iliac lymphatic channel. There are also lymphatic communications with the external iliac, presacral and para-aortic lymph nodes. Okay, thank you very much. There is one thing is that about it is a relation between the bladder and prostate. Bladder saying, "Hey bladder, thank you so much for your patience. I was sure if we were going to make it." And prostate saying, "I see the front door. You have 4 seconds. Okay, every time I come home." Okay, thank you very much. And this is about the anatomy of a prostate.